The actual approach that we'd taken was to shop around a little bit and see what devices and what programs were out there. We couldn't decide, so we decided on an interim measure which suited our need for a few years, but it didn't have the breadth and the ability that Schoolbox does. So it quickly outgrew its need here in the school, and we've shopped around and settled on a learning management system that we're very happy with at the moment.
When we were adopting a new LMS for Salesian College, the way we selected our panel was that we wanted to cover all areas of the college, and so we wanted to make sure everyone was represented. So we had the Deputy Principal of Learning and Teaching to make sure the academic side of the school was covered, the Deputy Principal of Students to ensure that wellbeing was being looked after. We had a leading teacher who was someone who was a high adopter of new learning technologies, and the digital learning leader to make sure that we selected a program that was going to be easy to implement and adopt in the classroom and benefit learning and teaching.
So the way I was involved in helping choose the process was Clancy, as our digital learning leader, really started it by asking for feedback on stuff from our old LMS. And I was not a fan of our old LMS. I thought it was clunky, it was old-fashioned, and being pretty much a millennial, I hated that, and I hated that the kids didn't like it. So I started off by giving heaps of feedback, and I wanted to make it constructive, but I really wanted to encourage the school to move away from that old LMS. And from that, Clancy then asked for my feedback and input throughout, because he said my feedback was really constructive and that was my main role. And they asked me to come to some of the presentations that they brought in and showed me some of the examples and asked for making pros and cons lists, essentially, from a classroom teacher perspective.
Both the Deputy Principal of Students and myself, the Digital Learning Leader, were responsible for introducing the concept of a new learning management system within Salesian College to our students and teachers, and also externally to our parents and wider community. The way we gathered information from staff, students and parents were via surveys, specifically targeted to each audience group, and we also had meetings with parents who came into the school to provide their feedback on what they liked and what they would like to see in a new learning management system. In communicating our progress with our new learning management system with staff, students and parents, we used communications such as parent newsletters, staff newsletters, student bulletins, information evenings, school assemblies, letters to go out with, student reports at the end of the year. Lots of different ways of communicating where we were up to with our LMS search. I think if a school is going to roll out a new LMS, it needs to be very structured in terms of setting some timelines, giving yourself enough time to develop sufficient criteria to evaluate the products that are out there and make a decision that's best for your school in terms of the direction that you're heading in, and how that's going to support and enhance the learning and teaching happening at that particular school.
My first bit of advice is research it very thoroughly. My second piece of advice is to find a company with a product that you can work with and is willing to adapt to the style in which we want the product to work for us. So it's not a matter of just the product being applied to the school and the school doing all the change. The product that we've chosen here with Schoolbox, it's been a matter of the organisation also being willing to adapt their product to suit our needs, and that's been a very positive aspect of the relationship that we've had with school.